Good morning. We will start with session 4 on chapter light. So this will be the last session on the chapter light. In our previous session, we understood what is dispersion of light, that is spreading of white light when it passes through a prism into a band of 7 colors is called as dispersion of light. We also understood how human eye works. In briefly, parts of human eye, what exactly happens, where do the light falls in the eye, where is the image formation done, what is iris, which gives the color to the eye, as well as it constricts and dilates whenever light falls on them. There was a last part which I told you all about blind spot, wherein it's a small activity where you sit with a small piece of paper in your hand with a pen or a pencil. So let's first start that. What you would like to do is take a piece of paper and draw a cross and a dot, what I can say here like this, and the distance between a cross and a dot should be approximately 6 to 7 centimeter, right? So a cross and a dot. Now dot, when I say, please don't put like this, at least a visible, a circle, at least this way to what I am drawing. So a cross and a dot, which is approximately about 6 to 7 centimeter, right? Then what you have to do now is hold the paper to your arm length. So this is your arm length. So this distance, when you hold the paper, are you able to see the cross and dot? Of course, yes. You are able to see the cross as well as dot. Now what you have to do is cover your left eye or close your left eye and try to observe the cross. Okay. So this is the paper. Now if I close my left eye, I try to observe the cross. Now slowly bring the paper towards your eye. Right. When you slowly bring the paper towards your eye, to your surprise, you will suddenly see that the round dot mark is disappeared and you can only see a cross, right? Repeat it again by closing your right eye and looking at the dot. Okay. Now close your right eye again. Close your right eye and look at the dot which is at your arm length and slowly bring it near. What do you observe? As it is persisting near, the cross disappears. That means there is a point on a retina where there is no image formed only. There are no sensory nerves working, no visual impact is sent, right? That is called a blind spot. An area where a person's view is obstructed as it does not support any vision. No sensory cells are present. So a blind spot is an area where a person's view is obstructed. At a particular point, we cannot see anything. So that is called as, that particular spot is called as a blind spot, as it does not support any vision there because we cannot see. No sensory cells are present. No sensory cells are present at that point. That is why no sensory optic nerve will not get any sensory things to send things to the brain and back to the eyes. So that is something called as a blind spot. One more important thing what you have to know is 25 centimeter is the minimum centimeter from our eye to this where we can read. Now that means today when I ask you to study, so how do you study? You keep your book at this distance, you keep your book at this distance, you even keep it down. Do you keep this close and study? No, right? Why? You cannot see anything. So 25 centimeter is the minimal distance at what you can see. Okay, you again study this in detail in your 10th grade. So that is the meaning of blind spot. This activity is given in your NCERT textbook. You can as well read that and redo it once again. We'll go to the next one, persistence of image. Now what is persistence of image? Image formed on the retina persists for 1/16th of a second. Now what do you mean by this? Now for example, if I have 16 still images, pictures like a placards or whatever I have, 16 still images, and if I move those 16 still images per second in front of my eyes. So every second I have to move an image, right? That means that will look like a moving object. Now to better understand this, I will not be performing any activity here now, but in your NCERT textbook itself, one activity is given where a boy has drawn a cage and another thing, a boy has drawn a parrot. When he moves it in such a way that you feel that the parrot is in the cage, right? That is because he is moving the images that randomly or that fast. Now one simple technique or trick what I tell you is here, when you take your mobile and click random pictures in the sense you are doing something, you are doing some activity, a friend of yours will start clicking pictures and you are doing some action while doing some work. And when you just flip those pictures one after the other, imagine that in a picture you were talking, second picture you were just moving your hand, third picture you were moving. So what does that look? So that picture when you just flip across, it looks as if you are moving your hand in this manner. Have you observed this? Try it. Keep moving your hands or something and ask somebody to click a picture, or you might have experienced this. The pictures what you have clicked, and when you play that or when you flip that, it looks like a moving object or looks like a small movie. Now, collection of such pictures which are moved for every second. So, minimally if there are 16 such images and which is moved at per second, which looks like a moving object, the same phenomena is used in the animated movies actually. Now, animated movies, we feel the pictures, we feel the moving of the pictures, right? But it's actually nothing but the still images which are actually moving at that rate. Okay? Actually, if you see the movie roll or something, so those are nothing but the pictures which are moving at that speed, which appears to be a motion picture for us. So, that is something called as a persistence of image. Then, before we move to the last section here, let's also understand. Now, eyes are such a sensitive organ of a human body which enables us to see things around us, right? That means we have to take care of our eyes. Now, how can we take care of our eyes? So, we can take care by if you are watching television, if you are watching your mobile, all we say it as a screen time, right? So at least now at this point of time, all are into your mobiles, laptops, PCs, etc. because everybody is into online or offline classes. But you can still avoid it by taking some rest, minimal rest, or observing it from a particular distance, not by holding it to very close by to each other, close by to your eyes. Nowadays, if you visit a spectacle store or spectacle shop, you also get a type of a spectacles which will not allow the blue light to enter your eyes, right? Now the spectacles nowadays what you wear also has a type of a filter which will not allow this blue light which is emitted from laptop, PCs or mobiles, which can directly enter your eyes and harm them. So you can use those techniques. In case you have specs, regularly check them at least 6 months once. Take good care of your eyes. See that no foreign objects are gone. If any foreign object or dust or particles are gone, wash them with water or go to a doctor. Do not use use like oil or anything into your eyes for cleaning, rubbing, etc. for anything, because it is such a sensitive organ. We need to take care of it, right? So these are certain some precautionary measures how we can take care of our eyes. Now we can see, now what about visually challenged people? Now they cannot see but still they are able to read and write. That is by a particular system which is called as a Braille system. Braille system is nothing but a tactile aid for visually challenged people. That means a visually challenged person but who cannot see or can partially see will use this Braille system. This was developed by Louis Braille, who himself was a visually impaired person. What does it consist of? It consists of 63 dots or characters which are arranged in a cell of two vertical rows having 3 dots each. So a visually challenged person can touch, feel those dots and can frame what you can say a letter to a word, also a grammatical sign with the help of these Braille codes, right? So this is how a visually challenged person can read and write and lead a normal routine life. So this was about the chapter light. Now since we discussed about eyes here, we human beings have, of course we have a pair of eyes, but we have a limited vision. Now what do you mean by a limited vision? I can see things what is in front of me, what is side of me, right? But there are certain animals which have a different types of vision. Now for example, if you take crab have very small eyes, right? But you can say it has a 360-degree movement of the eyes, wherein it can see what is happening in the front, behind and both the sides. It can move across, it can see across throughout 360-degree. Can we do that? No, not possible. Right? Butterflies have big eyes, but in those big eyes, it has thousands of small eyes which will help butterfly to see both front and back. If you all have seen, if a butterfly is sitting on a flower and you just go to, usually kids do that, right? They just go to touch or something like that. Butterfly immediately flies away because butterfly knows somebody is coming from behind because it has big eyes. In those big eyes, there are thousands small eyes which will help butterfly to see both front and back. Then owl, if you say, or the night birds, what you can say, they have a particular type of eyes which is very, what you can say is, which they can see or which they can pray things in the night only. Daytime, owl cannot see very well. But in the night time, the vision of an owl is very sharp. It can detect anything in the night time, but not in the daytime. Wherein if you see kite and eagle, they have a very sharp eyes in the daytime, but not in the night time. That's because they have to prey and they have to catch the prey and they have to eat the food, right? So they have a very sharp vision during the daytime than the night time. So these are the different types of eyes or eyesight, what we can say different creatures have. And even we organisms also have, that is we human beings also have eyes which will allow us to see the things. Now for example, our eyesight might not be that sharp as the owl. Now for example, we cannot see in the night, but we can see in the day. Now when we compare to crab and butterflies, we cannot see all 360 degrees on front and back. But still, what eyesight we have is sufficient for we human beings to lead a beautiful life. So this is about the chapter light. So in today's class, if you have any doubt or on the whole light chapter, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video center.